I'm gonna go poop in a hole in the ground somewhere.
Oh. You want me to document the?
Actually, yeah, I've been eager to document the. It's a modification of the skirka technique.
Oh. The skirka technique.
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Let me guess, it involves no toilet paper.
You got it.
All right.
My hands are already dirty from eating the steak like a caveman last night.
Oh.
I gotta wash them good with soap, so I might as well
Put them in your
have
ass.
poop on them first.
Yeah. All right.
There's a lot of crap here. There's a lot of money on the table. Very refined gear. Okay, all right. So we have from UGQ, we have a 20-degree blaze orange bandit. If you were real fans, you would know. It's a quilt. We have a Tensa 4 hammock stand from Tensa Outdoors. Are we ready to roll?
You're gonna look around.
Wait, explain all of that again?
You should have my dad explain that.
That's pretty good.
But the kayak.
It's like cocaine. You put that other stuff in here.
Not quite, but
But
like
you
cocaine.
add the cayenne pepper in there, and it cuts all of the sweetness of the orange juice and the pineapple juice to where it's not sickly sweet, and it makes it nice and balanced. Even if you don't like spice, just a little dash of cayenne pepper just balances out the drink really nice.
That creaminess makes it so
And it's like cocaine.
It's just like cocaine.
I mean, yeah,
All
if
right.
you want to say that, yeah.
All right.
I won't deny it.
Great.
I won't deny
Cocaine sells itself.
it.
Hi, Todd.
Howdy.
We made it.
We did.
Now what?
Wake up completely.
Get drunk.
A little coffee.
Coffee. All right.
You could put some whiskey in your coffee if you were so inclined. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me, though.
All right. No whiskey.
Yeah, it's nice to see other people's setups by light. We arrived, well, kind of at dark. There was enough light that we could have seen stuff, but then we wouldn't have had light to set up ourselves.
How many people are here?
400, 500, I think. A lot.
500 people?
Something like that.
That looks like sarcasm.
No, it's like a quarter of a mile long.
Okay.
One of these is hot water. I don't know which one.
Put it in my
The
pocket.
third one is hot water. We like to really mix it up, so you're not sure you're gonna.
Okay, here you get that. Ridgeline light strip, and it's kind of glampy, but you know, that has its place. So structurally, it's like a dropped bridge hammock. It looks like, because it's got the bridge like spreader bar, but you got a good, foot, 2 feet below, 18 inches. I don't know, 20 inches.
Yeah. Nifty. So wait, these are the Gen 1 Tensas?
That's a generation, well, second production had these giant holes, and it's old. And everything can be upgraded to the current spec. Because it's all, we sell all the parts individually. If this isn't, I don't know, like these feet.
Yeah, I noticed these are different.
Yeah, they're not hardware store feet, but you might be able to buy something like that at hardware. We now have completely custom feet
Crutches?
that aren't crutch feet,
They look like
that
crutches.
don't leave black marks on the walls and don't deteriorate. Frankly, the longevity of these in hard use is not what we want it to be. So we've had better ones for a long time, but I gotta get our sales rep on the current page with some current product. They're more expensive and fussier bipods that are even a little heavier. And one reason is that the tarp is really high. It's a palatial tarp height. They are very well fabricated, I gotta say. So I understand why they cost more. Can't tell what their anchor here was. It looks like angle iron. Angle iron way down in the ground. Yeah, they knew what they needed to do to keep that thing from going out in the sand. So, yeah. That was just a note for Cheryl. So I kind of wonder why. Well, their tarp extensions, that's palatial. That clearance, that's pretty great. I gotta admit, they kill us on the height of their tarp extensions.
What is that?
That's the Yobo Freedom stand.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, with this stuff,
I'm not sure
as
if I
long
set
as
it
the
up
load is on the lines, the one thing you wouldn't ever want to do is like tie a line around, because that squeezes these things. Basically, these are not handrails, and they're not to be any side load. As long as you're only loading them from the ends, such as that automatically does, you can't go wrong.
Perfect. Yeah, this is really cool. I've been kind
Looks fine.
of limited how much I go camping because I don't always have places I can cut trees. So I wanted to get a set of these so I can.
Yeah, I can date, when it was sold based on small details of that
How
stuff.
do we set up the tarp extenders? Because it
Yeah,
came with
I
it,
would love to show you.
but yeah, they're in here, but I don't know how to use them.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to show you.
I got one set up kind of here.
Fantastic. Hi.
Hey, Todd, my name's Ron.
Thanks for showing.
This is the pole.
That's the pole.
Yeah, and that's what.
And these guys are the.
Yeah, this is what I was given. We
Oh
kinda,
yeah, you already
we
got
kind of
that
rigged
I
one
didn't
up.
See
and
that up.
I don't
So-
really know if that's right. We just kind of threw it on there and
It's
so
just hooked up. I mean that'll work, but so there's lots of opportunities to ensnare this in this thicket.
Yeah.
And at a minimum, like oops. So that'll pull clean through, right?
Yeah.
So this generation presents a distinct crux. We now attach at the ends, and you no longer have that crux. And people are like, well, how does it work? It doesn't matter as long as you peg it to the end. So, well, this is already cinched up. I'll undo these guys.
Yeah.
I just got to start from
This
scratch.
is kind of how it came.
Yeah, no. And I know that our docks are minimal.
I
Yeah,
honestly haven't
we're
even.
working on the instructional aspect. of
I
it.
haven't even looked at the instructions yet for the tarp
So
extenders.
you could do a lot of things here, but I'm just gonna loop it through, grab a pole and loop it through.
Okay.
Or come on, those line locks are a bit bulky. Yeah. Now, no matter what else is going on, you've got that.
Oh. Okay.
It's not the only way to do it, but it's a way that is gonna work.
Cool. You loop that
And
bad boy
yeah,
through
these
and cover
pegs, those pegs stop it from sliding up the pole, like the
Okay.
We
pin.
got one thing right.
Yeah, the
on.
pinheads.
We did.
The pinheads.
We're just kind of figuring it out as we
It's
go.
it's all floppy until you load it.
Yeah.
Until you get some tension on it. When there's tension, you want it higher, you do that. You want it You want to move it that way, you do that. You know, until it gets
Until it's
tensioned
just
up.
right.
It doesn't need to be, you know, drum tight, because that your final tension is going to come from your guy lines.
Of course.
But that's
Awesome. I don't know if I have this guy set up right. Is it okay to be using the tube like that?
totally. Yeah, I've
Okay.
done that a bunch of times.
And I won't risk snapping the tube if something happens. Or
never happens.
Okay.
Some they change it. We don't make these. We just make them. They're made nearby. I go drive, pick them up.
okay.
Vancouver, Washington.
All right.
The earlier versions, they get milky and cracked. They have better plastic.
Okay.
So that's another one.
I just wanted to make sure I was doing it right. You know, never
Something-
owned one of these things before.
Yeah, it's fine. The only point of it, I mean, it's perfectly right here. You have some slack.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I saw something wrong.
Oh.
A lot of people try to
cinch that down.
They don't want any movement in the stand. It's like,
Oh no.
I mean, it might work, but
Need a little
movement
play
is your
on that.
friend. Yeah. Let the forces equalize. Don't like lock it all in static.
That's what I was telling them. But that's just kind of.
Yeah. It's
That's
just in
just to
case you
prevent.
screw up and like reach for that zipper pull in the middle of the night. You don't want to go catapulting.
Yeah, that's what I say. Never step or move past your center line. Stay
Yeah.
in. The
I
head
mean, you
end.
can. It's just if you better be prepared for what's going to happen.
Mousetrap yourself in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
no.
I think that was like a double-edged sword for marketing of, like Shug's early video. I mean, people love it, but he's a clown, a literal clown entertainer,
Yeah.
falling over, and people like, do I want to get the mount? So we're known as the stand that falls over on you, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
Since he's rolling, I don't know if you've seen like one of the pools. When I was here 4 years ago, I set up over there, and it was like all by my lonesome for a long time. And the whole point of coming here was to, meet people. So I without messing anything up.
Just fold it up, carried along.
Yeah. You get the idea.
Hey, just carry that bad boy around. That's awesome.
And go put it someplace else.
There we go. That's pretty cool. That's so cool.
One person can move it completely. Down.
That's awesome.
What's that? There's a tarp ridgeline tutorial happening.
Oh, goody.
I've never understood why anybody would
I don't
want a
use-
continuous ridgeline. It's
I don't use them.
what's wrong with a split ridgeline?
I don't use them.
Well, you have a ridgeline, you do. You don't have a
No.
continuous.
No, I don't. No, I don't use a tarp rigid.
You guy at the ends of your tarp along the ridgeline, right? Or you?
No, I don't.
What do you mean? Do you secure it to your hammock suspension?
No. I tie it to the same thing I tie my hammock to.
So what you're saying is you have a split ridgeline. It's two pieces of line,
Yeah.
each tied to the end
You
of
have
the
to tie
ridgeline.
it.
It's
You
tarp.
have to tie it up somehow, right?
That's called. I think they call that a split ridgeline.
Well, I never thought
And it's a
that it
minority.
needed a name. I mean, like,
Okay.
I need to tie it up to a tree.
Closest to my setup. This bothers me a little bit, but he may know more than I do. This has got a Sierra Madre in it, which is a very, very deep sag. And if you set it up normally, it might be too low. neat is he's got both ends tensioned, which preloads the poles in a way that can lead to problems if they have a very heavy person in. So generally it should be more relaxed, not so sharp. But maybe I'm being overcautious because I'm more aware of what can go wrong than what can go right. You never hear about when things go right. You only hear about what goes wrong, so I'm focused. Okay, so there's not down all the way up to here, as I thought. It's not as extravagant. Yeah, okay. See that the zip's on? Top coat is zipped, sealed. So there's no draft possibility. Not that that's a problem in most hammocks, but it's legit.
Oh, did you like that?
You know what?
That's really gorgeous. My amp.
I didn't even notice. I just saw that it's superior, so that's a half-foot retrofit.
No, it's somebody stole my freaking halfwit design. That's what he did.
Oh, what happened? Should I stop recording?
And then sent it to Cambodia.
A what again?
Cambodia.
Cambodia. That's how the Cambodians do it. What?
He hasn't made in Cambodia.
Okay, got it.
Hey, Dutch.
Hey there. How are you?
Am I to understand you're revealing a new product today?
I am, but this happens to be the banyan.
I was going to say, are you revealing a leak-proof tarp?
Yeah, there sure is,
Oh.
as you see above me.
Well-
It's
well-
all bonded.
What will you think of next? Hi, Todd. Namaste.
Or Gandhi, I think you said.
That's a
the other day.
Portland saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Namaste. We're here, unironic namaste. That's a double layer of irony.
Double winger.
We're here at HangCon in Florida, Brooksville. It's a beautiful day. Spanish moss hanging off the trees, and lots of like 400 or 500 hammock campers, all in one area. And we could have found trees, but we're here representing Tensa Outdoor, which makes portable hammock stands. And of course, so why don't we use our own product to show that you don't need trees to use hammocks? My buddy here, Michael, behind the camera, has a setup here that we set up last night in the dark. Of course, I don't know if I've ever set up a campsite other than in the dark, or close to it. And initially, I was hung off the same tree out in this direction, and that was fine. But we wanted to show that you can also set it up from a car, 1 or 2 or 4, or I don't know, however many you have. By splitting a Tensa 4 stand into 2 halves, you can hang 2 people as long as you have 1 support, such as a tree or a vehicle or other thing that's not going to roll or move away. So I had already set it up. I kind of stuffed the stuff loose in the car, and I'll set it up again so you can see how it's done. So I'm assuming if you set up Tensa 4 the normal way, which is 4 poles and no trees or supports required, you know how to extend these poles. So I got 2 of them, and we're gonna have them in a V configuration. That's probably going to end up somewhere around here. Doesn't matter now, it's loose positioning. I'm going to set up a tarp, so I'm probably going to try to rotate it away from the car to come off square instead of in line, so that the tarp doesn't interfere with the car that much. And I'll drop them and move to the next step. This is one of the guidelines that we offer with the Tensa 4, and we've already documented elsewhere how to use that the normal way. I'm going to set it up here. These roof racks have proven they feel pretty stout. I'm going to just Lark's headed this through to get the shortest possible range of adjustment. When you use the the orange part attached, which you can do, your minimum adjustment length is longer than I wanted. It's about 8 or 12 inches. I want it really snug up against the car. So, come on. There we go. This is just, hanging free. So I'm going to be hanging off of that. So this is all completely set up with my underquilt protector and all my bedding and so on inside. I like to keep it as one lazy slug tube, I think is the term. So if you look at my hands over here, this is the end loop of the hammock, and clicker on there. Nothing too exotic. And my bedding's falling out. I'm gonna zip that up. Let's see, just for funniness. It's probably gonna get that in now. So, something like that is what I'm looking at. I like my head end significantly lower than my foot end, as war bonnet hammocks are. So, I know people are shuddering, screaming now that I put my hammock on the ground. That was an unforced maneuver. So this is the current generation of our Tensa 4 connectors, and I've just, we used to thread through these holes, right? We now thread through the feet themselves, and so it goes through both, and with the excess you come around to the ball, and that's effectively a soft carabiner. It offers total freedom of motion. And this ball you can also hang a hammock off of. This is very, very strong line, so you can feel confident putting loads on it. Like this. Just slip it on over. I'll try to make that look. Let me try that. I can definitely make that.
So we're ready, and action.
Okay, just slip that loop over the ball. That is secure.
Just like so.
Yeah, there's a lot of mess going on with the various things. I've made some modifications along the way. So, from behind me, if you come back, it can be, crazy wide like that. That tends to load the poles more than is ideal. We're looking for a V, something like that. And this may even be freestanding. Yeah, that stands up. So you see where we're going. Obviously, if I get in the hammock now, what's going to happen is those poles are going to slide toward the car, so they have to be restrained. This superficially resembles a bipod stand, where you have two rather short legs that are kind of upright and then guide out strongly to the ground. That works just fine when you can guide to the ground strongly. You have to be able to place anchors out here. One or well, with the bipod you need only one anchor, which will often rip out because there's a lot of force on it. In other words, don't just tie that to the ground. You could do that, but these long poles, you're overloading them that way, and it's just more work. So again, think of it like this. And I'll explain more of the geometry after it's more set up. But for now, I'm going to kind of mark the spot that I wanted to set up. And yeah, it doesn't matter if it falls down. What we're going to do is these are the orange screws, and this is the Tensa 4 ridge line. You could use any rope. This is handy. And I marked this spot. This is very sandy, rather loose soil. I've had some anchors pull out. Various. Well, you get the idea. Nice squeal. Okay. And we're gonna snag that on the ground, right? Come on. Just so it can't pop off of it and slide. And then over here, it's the same thing. I've used that soft shackle, and I'm just going to slip over the ball. As long as there's tension, it's not going to pop off. Same thing on the other side. Entered some. Yeah, just slip that over and cinch it up a bit. It's not going anywhere. Oh, some wild birds. As in interesting birds. Dinosaurian. And I'm looking to just center it up. I'm going to do a little test sit to confirm the integrity of things, and then sort of stretch out the line that thing do. I like it a little lower. I like my head a little lower, so I can get my feet flat on the ground. So I'm going to let out this line a little bit. If this was just plain rope, obviously you could retie a knot or something. There, not going anywhere. That's real good for me, the way I like it. And so a key thing to note, this is just floating free, and I can spend the night that way without any problem, as long as I didn't, say, reach for a zipper pull up by my feet in the middle of the night. Because if my center of gravity comes way over here, well, if I get far enough, I'll flip and hit the car. Nobody likes that. So what we can do for a little extra security, let's say a gust of wind comes, it'll blow that over. We can just hang something here, some weight. For a little extra security, I'm gonna take the baseline that we provide and secure it more that way. This is the Tensa 4 baseline that we're not using in the normal configuration, but it's a handy line. You can use any old piece of rope, or if you don't want to just put a counterweight here. And yeah, feed it through itself like that, and like so. This is loose. That's completely fine. It just has to keep it from the tip over scenario that we were talking about.
Or you could tighten it and not have any tip over at all.
I don't want to tighten it because if you tighten this a lot, so I like to keep it loose along with the head end guy line on the regular Tensa 4 setup, because if you lock it down, introducing tension, you're preloading the poles. You could theoretically load it so much that then when a heavy user gets in, they buckle the poles. So it doesn't need to be locked down, and it's best if you don't, really, if you can avoid it. So I'll just tie out my hammock normally now, or stake it out.
The War Bonnet XLC in 12 different colors.
Yep.
Todd went with the Martian camo.
And just get it. And now, even if I screw up, get it way over here, it arrests me.
Yeah. Safe,
But it still allows
safety
things
line.
to move. Willow is stronger than oak, in a storm. Don't lock things down if you don't need to. We're kind of done, but we're going to put up a tarp. So this is one of the tarp extensions for Tensa 4. I could manage the tarp right here, but then it's just a couple inches over the ridge line. It's too low to be comfortable, and some tarps are too long to get the necessary tension. So this provides both extra height and a little extra spread to be able to tension the tarp. So, where you have a closed loop, let's see, I'm going to thread that through. I'm Lark's heading to the cluster of confusion up here. And, we have documentation that says nestle it in this crux. That's a little out of date. I mean, it can still work, but just the attachment here provides a loop. See? I fed it through there. And that's not going anywhere. So, notice it's secured to that spring button so it doesn't slide up the pole. Same thing on the other side. Just clips to itself. These little mitten hooks. Ta-da! And now this pole is way out this way, which isn't really what we want. We want some height. So I'm going to let these guys out and then shorten this line to raise it. And we don't want too far of a distance from of a difference from a 90-degree angle here, because then this little pin can pop out. We're thinking of securing this permanently to the pole section so it's a little easier. This may fall out. Once we have some tension, however, such as by the tarp, this is quite secure. This is why I'm in the hammock gear industry, is that I haven't slept in a bed since 2013. I've laid down in beds, including overnight periods, and it's just horrible for my back. This is just bliss every single time. It's that good.